Alright guys, so Fuller coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LDVC. If you like the video, like the video, and if you like the page, feel free to subscribe to the page and you know tap into the content we have available on the page. So there's been multiple sources that have said that Canelo has decided that he is going to choose Billy Joe Saunders as an opponent. Now, um, I think the reason why Canelo is choosing Billy Joe Saunders as an opponent is based off of his last performance against the Caceres guy. Um, Many people had that fight a tie when before the knockout happened. And mind you, I said it in the previous video, the way the knockout happened was not by a clean knockout. Billy Joe Saunders grabbed him on the back of the head, to set up the knockout. Now, in fighting, some people have the mentality that you go through any means to win. And I mean, we know that with Billy Joe Saunders, we know that with Canelo because of the simple fact that both of them popped dirty for performing enhancing drugs. So we know that, that's the length that they go to win, is, with these performing enhancing drugs, Um, Now, with that being said, um, I mean, the fight would take place in Cinco de Mayo. That's when they'll have the fight. Will be May 5th. Nothing is set in concrete yet, but they're looking at early negotiations. Basically, that's what I heard. Um, Again, when you look at the fights, when you look at the dynamics of like middleweight, when you look at the dynamics of super middleweight, now when you look at the dynamics of light heavyweight, the same way that Mayweather, like how some people said Mayweather was bad for boxing because you know people wanted to cash out, they wanted the big money fight with Mayweather. They necessarily didn't come to bring their A game when they tried to beat Mayweather. But I mean, on the flip side, Mayweather was just that good that, no matter what, if you brought your A game or whatever game you brought, he was going to figure you out and pick you apart. That's one of the things about him that you can't take away from him. It's the fact that he's a master boxer, and he was able to adjust to any styles that you put in front of him. Now, in the case of Billy Joe Saunders, I don't think and this is just judged by his performance. This is not, I'm just going based off of his performance. Everybody does, I mean, everybody is allowed to have a bad performance. Everybody is allowed to have an off night. But the way he had an off night, it looked like that, his passion for boxing is not really there. Because the thing is, if you have an off night, you still have to be in shape. You know what I mean? Like for example, the fight with Devin Haney. Despite the fact that Devin Haney pretty much won all the rounds, it wasn't a pretty fight. It was a very drawn out, nasty, ugly looking fight. But, mind you, he still won all the rounds in that fight. If you want to call it you can call it an off night. You know, you can say that Devin Haney had an off night. But the thing is, Devin Haney was still in shape. That's the whole difference between him and Billy Joe Saunders. You know, is that he was still in shape. You know, with the fight that Billy Joe Saunders just had, he wasn't in shape at all. He looked fat, looked tubby, and I mean, I remember one fight where Billy Joe, I think he fought at like cruiserweight, and I'm just sorry, like without like his nasal spray, he doesn't look like a fighter. Like I wouldn't mistake him for a fighter at all. Like I would mistake him, if anything, I would mistake him for like maybe like a snow cone maker or something like that, or I would mistake him for someone who works at a fish and chips restaurant over there. Like I wouldn't mistake him for a fighter, you know. So with this being said, I just think that, you know, that he would not put his best foot forward in fighting Canelo. And I think Canelo knows that. And, you know, and that, you know, Canelo will be able to have an easy pickings with him because he looked at that last fight and he's like, okay, he's food, you know. I don't think Billy Joe would be the type of dude to have a bad performance, you know, in order to bait Canelo into a fight. I don't think he's smart enough to do that, you know. I really don't. I'm just going to be real, you know, because at the end of the day, he could have had two career-defining fights, or he had two chances at a career-defining fight, but he didn't want to take them. So that's kind of why how I gauge Billy Joe Saunders. You know, I gauge him based on his actions. Because here's the thing, man. If he was really concerned with, like, fighting and being the best and, like having, like, his name among, like, the elite middleweights, like, the middleweights that you speak with in high regard, he would have fought Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. He would have fought him. First time, he got caught dirty, okay. Second time, there was nothing blocking that fight. The fact is, he signed to Eddie Hearns to be with, among other middleweights. The fact that, you know, he wouldn't take the fight with Demetrius Andrade tells me that, you know, he doesn't think he can beat that guy. You know, that's what that tells me. And that, you know, he's too much. And then the crazy thing about it, man, is he was leaving tweets after the fight that he had with Selecki, because, you know, at the end of the day, like, it is prize fighting, but you still want to go home to your family. So, you know, Selecki and Andrade, they, like, said, you know, good job for amongst each other. They said, like, hey, you know, good fight, man. This, that, and the other. And Billy Joe had the nerve to say, oh, how sweet, a couple's making up. And it's like, bro, you won't fight, dude. He went to your backyard and said, I'll whoop your ass in front of your people. He did that. Demetrius Andrade did that. I mean, I don't think he wants to fight any of those guys. Like, I don't think he wants to fight the likes of Abubu Andrade. Andrade. I don't think he wants to fight the likes of like who else? Like, I don't think he'll fight Bivol, because Bivol said he'll drop down to 168 and get that work. He's not going to try to fight him. He definitely won't try to fight Uskategi, you know, because I've talked to Uskategi's manager, and Uskategi tried to get a fight with him, but they declined it, you know. He's not going to fight those guys, man. At the end of the day, I think this is the opportunity he wanted. He wanted the opportunity to cash out. And I think that's just what's going to happen, man. Now, on the flip side of this thing, this is what's going to happen too. You may see a new version of Billy Joe Saunders, considering, but I don't know if, well, here's the thing. Like, with Canelo having the WBC franchise championship, they may be able to they may be able to, do that. They may be able to have that stipulation in the fight. And what I mean is that they may have lax the WBC, basically the we boost clenbuterol standard in the fight, meaning that they may not have no, or they just may sign a contract, man. They just may sign a contract and say that they don't want no Vada or USADA or WADA. They may just put that in the contract, man, and just say, oh, we don't want the testing. Both of them may do that, and then what will happen is that they'll both come in juice to the gills, and it'll just be a matter of who lands what at that point, or who can outbox the other. So it's no surprise that Canelo was picking him, based on, and he's picking him based off of that performance, because I guarantee you, if one of these other, but it's surprising because the performance with Korobov with Jamal Charlo and the performance with Brandon Adams with Jamal Charlo, I mean, he won the fights. Granted, those fights were won. He won them, okay? But he didn't win them in such a way that would warrant, fear or anything from Canelo. But I guess he still doesn't want to fight him. I guess I guess they're still cool on that smoke. So he'd rather take Billy Joe Saunders. And I mean, with that fight, it will be, if they fight at 168, since he has the WBO title, and I think Canelo has I think he has either the regular WBA title, or he has the I think the secondary belt. I'm not quite sure, but I think it'll be a unification fight at 168. But yeah, I expected something like this to go down, and now there's even talks that Canelo may go after Triple G again, although he doesn't want to fight him. But I mean, honestly, that's the reason why DAZN signed those two. Is for some reason they really believe that the fans want to see a trilogy. That's why they signed those two fighters. It had nothing to do with them, wanting to attract marquee names to DAZN. I mean, they just signed them based off of that fact that they may get that fight. But 168 may become interesting because you have Daniel Jacobs fighting at 168. So who's to say that he won't capture a strap? And then that could be a potential rematch between him and Canelo at 168. And also Billy Joe Saunders, depending on who's successful in that fight. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now, guys. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments. Full of signing out. And Rama.